So the reason why we wanted to do the STEM lab is because it allowed us to expand our curriculum. So one of the things when we looked at the STREAM initiative at Bishop Noll, or the STEM initiative, it was important to me to be mindful that it would enhance our current programs, our chemistries, our physics, etc., but it would also expand upon them. So it allows us the opportunity to have more computer programming classes, and it allows us the opportunity to have more engineering classes, and allows us the opportunity to even host more biomedical classes here at Bishop Noll.
Well, we're excited that our students will be able to get a real hands-on experience there. The Stream Lab is going to be set up for multi-purpose use, and a big part of it is the hands-on work that will be done outside of, like, beyond the classroom part of it, with the makerspace and when you get into things like robotics and some of the projects that are currently taking place in the STEM lab that in the stream room that there's not enough space for it. So this will really allow our students to do much more in the hands-on learning environment.
I think one of the advantages is that we've outgrown this room, the stream lab or the STEM room. We're in two to three rooms right now. We have a computer lab that we're using. We have room 102 that intro to engineering students are using. Then we have this room here. And we've just outgrown this space, and there's really not a place where students can fully create something from start to finish. So when we're in the stream lab, they can use the prototyping machines that we'll have where they can really manufacture their design. Last year, the students were able to do a little bit of creating their own designs, but we were very limited with the materials. And I think when students are limited with their materials, their creativity is also limited. So I feel like students will be able to really manufacture their design from start to finish.
I think the Stream Lab is going to be very beneficial because it's going to allow the kids to be more hands-on. They're going to be able to brainstorm an idea and actually bring it to life, and actually have a purpose. So instead of just saying, hey, we're a stream school, we're actually going to be able to build things and make things usable that we can use throughout the school.
The big advantage for the students is they'll have many opportunities, many new classes that we'll be able to offer. It'll be state of the art. Hopefully there'll be nothing like it in the state of Indiana.
Well, the lab consists of several main parts. There's a learning space that is set up like a typical classroom, but also has computer labs around the outside. Right next to that is the Makerspace Lab, which is a wide open space that includes movable tables, hardwood floors, and different places for assembly and testing of projects and creations. And next to that, in a separate enclosed space, is the Prototype Lab, where we have various equipment, machinery, stuff like 3D printers, CNC machines, stuff that might make a lot of noise and maybe it kind of smells bad. So it's kind of separated from the rest of the room, but it's still part of the main unit so that all three of those parts of the classroom can all work together.
Kind of how I just touched base, I think the important thing is this space is not going to be inclusive to just 2 or 3 classes. It's actually going to be open and available to a variety of teachers. So for example, if Mr. Chikaraki is going to do something in physics requiring gravity tests, he could use the drop zone, the gravity zone that will be created within there. So it will enhance our already physics program, but in addition, the spaces that are available will allow us to have more engineering courses, etc. So the intention is to enhance our current biology programs, our physics programs, our math programs, our computer programming programs, and then in addition, allow us more things. So not only just curriculum-wise, but also extracurricular-wise. So one of the hopes is within the makerspace is to begin to offer robotics club, begin to do extracurricular activities that enhance the mind aspect of Bishop Noll. So when a student comes here, not only are they maybe taking an engineering course, but they're also building robotics or building an app through App Creator's additional course. So the intention of the space is to be multi-purpose and versatile. So it doesn't just pigeonhole us into 3 years of curriculum. It gives us opportunities to expand curriculum and advance it depending on how the changes will ever be evolving in those fields in the next 10, 20 years.
I plan to use the room in a way that since everything is all contained together in one area, we'll be able to seamlessly move from planning stage to drafting on the computers to actually creating our prototypes in the lab, all without kind of breaking it up into separate thoughts. The other advantage that we have to that room is that there's going to be a place in the room to actually store in-progress projects and larger things that we're working with, so that kids won't have, you know, a project this large that they need to move into their locker and remember to bring back to class every day. It's going to be designated space just for those classes.
I think we're gonna make sure that we use every single section of the room. There's the CAD software that will be in the computer lab section. There is the prototyping section that we're gonna have real power tools and machines and 3D printers in there. But then there's also the makerspace area that's gonna have nice countertops where students can fully create their idea, the idea of a prototype. Instead of, I think last year we just got to the prototype part, but we never got past the prototype part. So that, again, that idea of creating something from start to finish, really seeing what I have in my head come to reality.
I'm going to take advantage from just like a math perspective. We're going to be able to measure things, build things, and bring things to life.
The Stream Lab is going to be a school-wide thing. Yes, we're talking about it being stream classes, but it's going to be so much room and so many different work areas in there that any class, any teacher, we could have 3 classes in there at one time. So we can all take advantage of the Stream Lab.
For those of you who don't know, I try to be a visionary, so I try to not get stressed over the little things, and I try to look to big picture. I was actually at a Apple conference at Center Grove High School, and Center Grove is a Project Lead the Way school, and they actually have an innovation center. Center Grove is close to Bloomington, Indiana. It's a large school, huge campus, and they had this space, and I was like, this is a very cool space. So I actually took a tour of it. It had spaces similar to what we're attempting to create within our own WAC currently. And what I did is I just literally walked around, I took pictures. I was like, this is really gives us an opportunity to expand what we have. And I just kind of put it in the back of my brain. And one day I was walking down the hallway, and I used to be on a space utilization committee when I was in college. And one of the things you always look for was dead space. Like, what are you not doing with spaces that you can recreate? And I walked across the WAC, and I was like, well, that's kind of become a dead space over the years. You know, it's currently storage. And I was like, how can we recreate this? And I remembered my experience at Center Grove. So I just kind of thought of it, no big deal, and I started to put together a grant proposal because there was a grant opportunity to get $30,000. So I was like, it can't hurt, right? So I literally, like, really dorky with my Word document, created like this envisioning space of what I thought this space could be. Shared it with my stream team, and it now has evolved into the renderings that the kids have seen, the pictures. We got an architect involved. So with the stream team's help, Mr. Pillar, Miss Albrecht, Mr. Landy, and a variety of other teachers, because we've been mindful of making sure that we have the STREAM represented in all our committees. We were very intentional. So we've kind of evolved that space into not just my lame little Word document drawings, but really innovative space that allows students to do a different style of learning, which is critical for our youth because learning is different now and education is different moving into the future.
Well, the Stream Lab is being funded through our Ignite and Inspire Capital campaign. We're raising $1 million just specifically for that purpose, and part of a $3 million plus effort overall. And through our alumni and other stakeholders who have been very generous, right now we're past the halfway mark in our fundraising. We're very optimistic that we're going to have everything completed in 2019, and it's going to be a great opportunity for our students to take advantage of what their predecessors, our NOLA alumni, are coming up to the table with to set the table for our future students.
I think it just gives us, first of all, it allows us to enhance our curriculum, which is always a plus. It allows us to look for 21st century teaching opportunities. So it really allows us the flexibility. You know, when you look at schools across the United States, the one thing that doesn't evolve over time is the classroom. And this space has allowed us to evolve Bishop Knoll in a quick manner in which we could host multiple classes in there at once. It's a big space. So can you imagine going in there and having 3 to 4 classes taking place in an innovative space, and what that could do for the learning process and the problem-solving process? Because that's really the full intention of it, is to teach kids how to troubleshoot, because in your day and age, you guys have all the information provided to you. But you can Google anything and get the answers and the steps to how to get there. But if it doesn't work, your generation doesn't know what to do. Like, you couldn't figure out if something's like a square peg and there's a square hole there, you guys don't know to put it in there if the YouTube video doesn't tell you to do that. That's a problem. So a lot of this learning helps you troubleshoot and go through and find different ways to solve everyday problems.
Okay, that's it.
Well, it will give our students training and education and experience, learning the types of skills that today's employers are seeking. STEM skills are at the forefront of what employers want, and so it's not just science, technology, engineering, et cetera, et cetera. It's project-based learning, it's group project, it's communicating, it's cross-curricular learning, all those things that are part and parcel to what today's employers are looking for out of their hires.
Well, with this room, Bishop Knoll is going to be able to offer a wide variety of classes. We're going to be improving our curriculum over the years. Next year, we're going to start offering a Principles of Engineering class, for example, which is going to include electronics and programming and robotics, kind of a current extension of our Intro Engineering class, which is a continuation of the 8th grade STEM program. So it's all going to build on itself in future years to come.
I think it's going to make us just stand out. You can be a STREAM school or a STEM school, but not many schools actually have the tools to build and develop and make models. So it's going to make us stand out and just make us even be stronger in our STREAM and STEM initiative.
I think this is definitely going to help improve our school with our students' creativity. I think a lot of times we have these ideas, but our creativity is lacking because we can't fully see that idea, or how can we create that. I think a lot of times that's where I want students to think a little bit more, problem solve a little bit more, physically work with their hands. A lot of times we don't work with our hands. We maybe draw our idea out, or we have the CAD software, but we don't physically make something. And I think there's a lot of learning that can happen with creating something like that.